Some episodes in a series just exist. They pass the time, maybe make you laugh, maybe add a monster of the week. And then there are episodes like the ones that quietly rip your heart out and rewire how you see the entire show. On the surface, this is a story about Pearl helping Steven find an old sword. But what it really is a heartbreak, a revelation, a turning point for Pearl, for Steven, and for how we understand the legacy of Rose Quartz. The episode opens with a simple setup. Returning to the strawberry battlefield, the crystal gems begin to gather some of the discarded weapons. Lion turns towards them. He is carrying a pink scabbard in his mouth. Pearl recognizes it as the scabbard for Rose's sword and pulls the scabbard out of Lion's drawers before shooing him away. But pay attention to the tone.
Mom fought here?
That's right, and I fought alongside her.
Right here, the emotional undercurrent is already pulling at you. This isn't about the sword. It never was. It's about what the sword represents. And Pearl is clinging to it like it's the last physical piece of Rose Quartz she has left. But it gets heavier. Pearl carries Steven to Rose's armory, gleaming with excitement, only to find out Steven has been here before and he knows his way around. And then he says something that hits Pearl like a truck.
That's okay. I can do it without you.
That line doesn't come out of malice. It comes out of necessity. Steven is growing. He's stepping out of the shadow of his mother. He's not just Rose's son, he's Steven. And in this episode, more than any before, we start to see him assert his independence. And Pearl, she doesn't know what to do with that. It stings, but it also sets the stage for everything that comes after. Pearl's slow journey to finding her own identity beyond Rose. Pearl finds Rose's sword hidden in Lion's mane, a being she didn't even know was connected to Rose, and for the first time, Pearl is confronted with the possibility that Rose didn't trust her.
I was your mother's sole confidant. For the words she could share with no one else, I was there to listen.
Until now, Pearl has worshipped Rose. She's seen her as this larger-than-life, flawless leader, and Pearl genuinely believed that she was Rose's closest confidant. The idea that Rose had secrets even from her, that she hid things that Pearl didn't know about, it cracks something in her. This moment changes how we view Rose Quartz forever. The perfect leader? Maybe not. The idealized mother? Not quite. And if Rose wasn't perfect, then what was real?
I'm the only other crystal gem who's ever witnessed the armory's magnificence before now.
Nuh-uh.
And Pearl isn't ready for that answer. Pearl doesn't just feel sad in this episode. She feels betrayed, devastated, and in a way, replaced. When Garnet suggests that Rose might have had a reason to keep secrets from her, Pearl snaps. She lashes out and then she runs. But it's not just an emotional meltdown. It's a full-blown identity crisis. For thousands of years, Pearl existed in Rose's shadow, clinging to every word, every gesture. She built her sense of self around serving and protecting Rose Quartz. So when she realizes that maybe, just maybe, she never really knew her, that maybe she was just a Pearl and not her Pearl, it shakes her entire foundation.
My Pearl, you're wonderful.
Here's the scene that punches you right in the chest. Steven chases after Pearl, trying to comfort her. And when he falls, she shows concern, but she doesn't reach out. A stark contrast from the last time we saw Steven fall. It's not just shocking, it's horrifying. Steven is okay, of course, but in that moment, the show makes something crystal clear. Pearl is not okay. She's not just a calm, collected, loyal knight. She's a kind of human, consumed by grief in the only way a gem in this world could be. And it gets worse. When they reach the edge, Pearl activates a hidden hologram of Rose. It's beautiful, ethereal, and brutal. Rose calls her, my Pearl. Those two words are everything. They validate her loyalty, her service, her love. They make her feel chosen. But the tragedy is just a recording. Rose isn't really there, and Pearl knows it. This line also foreshadows future revelations about the true nature of Rose and the truth about Pearl's past as a servant gem. The one possessive word, my, hits different when you know Pearl was once really owned. But even without the future context, it's still gutting.
I wonder if she can see me through your eyes. What would she think of me now?
Grief in this episode is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, awkward, lingering. Pearl is shutting down, pulling away, lashing out at Steven. then distancing herself. That's what makes it so raw. And Steven, he doesn't understand all of it, but he understands enough to know that Pearl is hurting. So he shows up with empathy, with patience. He doesn't try to fix her, he just comforts her. And somehow that's what she needs. But we're still not done unpacking this. So why was Pearl so shattered by this? Because Pearl was her everything. Not just a friend, not just a leader. Pearl loved her deeply. Whether you read it as romantic, platonic, or something in between, the depth of Pearl's devotion is undeniable. And when you've built your entire world around someone, their betrayal isn't just painful, it's world-ending. The fact that Rose kept secrets from Pearl wasn't just a matter of trust. It undermined everything Pearl believed about their relationship. Pearl thought she was special, that she was the one person Rose could be real with. And to me, this is the real start of Pearl's arc. Sure, we'd seen her in action before. We knew she was strong, smart, and graceful, but this is the episode that lays bare her vulnerabilities. It plants the seeds for later episodes where she begins to question who she is without Rose, where she starts carving out a new identity, where she begins the long, painful process of healing. This isn't the end of Pearl's grief, it's the beginning of it. And that's what makes it so powerful. Now, let's talk about Rose. This episode is one of the first major cracks in her image. Until now, she's been this mythical, flawless figure, the rebel, the leader, the loving mother. But here we see that she kept secrets, that she compartmentalized, that even her closest allies didn't know everything about her. It doesn't make her evil, but it makes her complicated. This episode quietly introduces the idea that Rose Quartz, like every leader, had flaws, and the fallout of those flaws is written all over Pearl's face. And eventually, we learn just how far these secrets went. Rose's Scabbard is without question one of the most important episodes in Steven's universe. It changes how we see Pearl, how we see Steven, and most importantly, how we see Rose Quartz. It's a story about grief that lingers, about identities that unravel, and about the painful realization that the people we love are not perfect. But it's also a story about growth, about finding your own path, about standing back up after a fall. Pearl starts breaking here, but it's not the end of her. It's the beginning. And Steven, he takes his first steps towards becoming his own person. All because of a missing sword, a few haunting words, and a bond that wasn't as unbreakable as we thought. Thanks for watching.